Nigeria or Nigeria. An agenda for national rebirth. This is the first part. I want to start with a quote from Julian Barnes, the author of Flopat's Parrot. And it says, "The greatest patriotism is to tell your country when it is behaving dishonorably, foolishly, viciously, till the rivers run dry and the world ceases to exist. Problems shall never end." Those who love music might have heard something similar from Don Williams. But problems became part of man the moment he took a bite of that apple and was banished to earth to come and find the solution that will take him back. And so, seeking solutions to problems must be our eternal habit. However, just as Albert Einstein said, the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. We have to think differently and divorce ourselves from all the things that have pinned us down to where we are now. As pointed out by many who took it upon themselves to be pointers at problems, Nigeria's problems are all condensed into one: leadership. Most of the things we are writing about are things that we have written about in the past. And since instead of improving, we are progressing in the manner of the person digging a hole that is going deeper down, we should not get tired of reiterating and retelling what we have said earlier until something gives. And this is why we opened with a quote from Flopat's Parrot, a novel by the award-winning English writer Julian Patrick Barnes. Born January 1946, he won the Man Booker Prize in 2011 with The Sense of an Ending, having been shortlisted 3 times previously with Flopat's Parrot, England, and Arthur and George. Flopat's Parrot was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 1984 and won the Geoffrey Faber Memorial Prize the following year. We have always believed and told the world that patriotism is the bedrock of development. Without it, no nation can make progress. And if, by some miracle, they grow, that growth will be ephemeral. You see, patriotism is the love of country with devotion deep from the heart. Anything from your country is, in your eyes, the best. The way the parents of an ugly child see beauty in that child is the way a patriot sees anything from his country as the best in the world. In my write-up of 27th May 2019, entitled Open Letter to an Incoming Governor, I wrote, among others, "Your Excellency should also make sure that those who have their children in private schools do not determine the affairs of public schools. How can one be in charge of education or send his wards to private schools or abroad? Anybody who will administer education must have faith in what the government is doing to improve education, which he superintends. Anybody who cannot sacrifice for the state should not be allowed to benefit from the state. Your Excellency, do that, and education will improve by leaps and bounds." I also wrote, "There is a reason why Malaysians in 2018 overwhelmingly brought back Dr. Mahathir Mohamad at the age of 92 to lead them again. He was ready to sacrifice his life for them when he refused to travel abroad for medical treatment in 1989, opting to be operated upon in Malaysia, which led him to build world-class medical facilities in the then underdeveloped country later." He had this to say, As a doctor myself, I knew the risks. I knew there was a possibility that I might not survive the operation, as it was not a common procedure. Yet, he rejected his doctor's recommendations for surgery in the United States. He said, I had to have faith in our Malaysian doctors. If I didn't make an example of myself, no one else will have confidence in our medical service. I continued writing, saying, Your Excellency, anybody who, together with his family, has to travel abroad for medical reasons need not be in charge of your Ministry of Health and any health facility. Not only those who go abroad, but even those who patronize private hospitals or clinics. Please relieve him of his duties if you had already appointed him. The only exception is in dire cases determined by a competent medical team that such cases have to be treated abroad. I continued. You can aim at providing standard primary health care centers in at least each ward, a standard general hospital in each local government, a standard specialist hospital in each senatorial zone, and a world-class referral hospital, maybe in the state capital. You can even partner with world-renowned hospital managers and administrators. These two measures in education and health, I wrote, when taken with such seriousness, will see a turnaround in the standards of education and health in your state, and ultimately the general quality of life. We have the Indian case, where the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, born October 2nd, 1869, and died January 30th, 1948, wouldn't ride in the sleek luxury cars from the West. He elected to trek and drive in locally made carts. This injected vigor into local car manufacturing. Now, India is a vehicle exporter. These servant leaders teach that a leader sacrifices. He is not one collecting a fabulous salary and unimaginable allowances, but still being fed by the government or using foreign-made items like clothes, food, cars, etc., instead of those his country produces. Not yet done with the question of exemplary leadership, we wrote, change must begin with the leader on the 6th of July, 2020 again. We started then with a quote from a Brazilian lyricist and author of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, where he said, the world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. We wrote, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran that he does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in their hearts. It is a verse widely quoted out of context by people wanting to give their idols in power excuses. There was never a time in any history that people just woke up and all of them at the same time said to themselves, we must change. It has never happened. Even revolutions and mass uprisings have guides. Someone has to mobilize the masses, sensitize them, and lead the way. And that person is called a leader. Therefore, those who are fond of quoting this verse as an excuse to shield their principles are loose-brained, mischievous, or plain illiterate. Most likely, they won't refer to the verse if the icon does not appeal to their sentiments. And we further on say, because God raises the living out of the dead and brings forth light out of the dark, he raises from among a people their type who leads them from deprivation to well-being. Out of the palace of the Pharaoh, he raised Moses. Out of the family and society of idolaters, he brought forth Abraham. And out of the heathendom of Arabia, he revealed Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Chaka the Zulu founded the Zulu Empire, and for 12 years, before his assassination on September 22nd, 1828, he molded his people into a dominant fighting force never seen before in southern Africa. Mao Zedong, known as Chairman Mao, was the founding father of the People's Republic of China and laid the foundations of what China now is. You can go on and count leaders who changed their people and their country's fortunes by leading by example. Cuba's Fidel Castro was one. We also had Muammar Gaddafi from Libya, Dr. Martin Luther King, who raised the consciousness of blacks, Dr. Muhammad Mahathir of Malaysia, and Mahatma Gandhi of India. These leaders raised the consciousness level of their people and changed them into better human beings by being what they wanted their people to be. They did not look their people in the face in a condescending and patronizing manner, point a finger at them, and sing change, while they indulge in the vices of yore. Mao viewed such leaders as swollen in head, weak in legs, sharp in tongue, but empty in belly. For Nigeria, when can we have our own Mahatma Gandhi, or Chairman Mao, or Fidel Castro, or Gaddafi? Somebody who thinks Nigeria and Nigerians first. Thank you.